Hey everyone, I'm back at Vitruvian Art, and I wanted to do a basic stone tutorial for you today. A lot of the things I do is the gemstones and all the really pretty stones and whatnot, and there are gems which are translucent looking, and I do a lot of those, and as well as I do stones. And stones have a different set of rules from gems, and so I wanted to go over those with you. Here are some of the stones that I've done that you guys have seen. There's malachite and sea sediment jasper, and this is the latest one everybody went nuts over, which was pretty cool. There's lapis lazuli. There's the other lapis that I did. So let's do this real quick, and then I'll tell you it's not hard. It's definitely not. So the set of rules that you're gonna have is that you're going to pick the color of your stone, whether you want to do a completely blue stone or a green stone, or you want to do something like malachite or sea sediment jasper that has patterns and such in it. I'm going to grab one of my darker pencils here. And with stones, what you're going to be doing is having your shadow at the other side from your highlight. With gems, it's the opposite. Let me see if I can find one here for you real quick. Let's see. There's one. Did this one not too long ago. With gems, you're gonna have your light source. This is a reflected light. Your light source is coming from over this way, and it hits your gem, your highlight, and then you have your shadow right under it, and then you're gonna have the reflected light that you see coming out towards you from the bottom of the gem, and this is kind of the glassiness on top of it. With a stone, it's the opposite. You're going to have your lightest part right up here under your highlight, which is why you need something darker. Like if you're doing a malachite piece, you're going to have the lighter colors. You're going to be right up here under your white highlight, and then you're going to have your darker corners on the opposite side of where you're at. So let's do this real quick. So if you've got your directed light coming this way, your lightest part is going to be up here, and so your darkest part is going to be over here, which makes more sense when you think about it, because you've got curve on top of your stone or your cabochon, or however you would like to say it. And so then you can just build up from there. I'm going to grab one of my lighter ones. And I'm not going to do a whole bunch of really in-depth coloring for you today. Just going to do some light stuff, and you'll see how it comes along. But yeah, your lightest point is going to be up here, and then it's all going to come down here and get mixed in with your darkest. And then of course you're going to have dark all around your edges to push the edges down. When you have a darker color, any shadow or whatnot is going to go all the way around your edges, as that's going away from you and going down. And you can do shading in a couple of different ways, making your shadows a couple of different ways. You can just use colors, just using darker values of colors, like using the light purple here, using darker purples here. You want to get some serious shadow like I did on my last one. You can use dark grays. You can use black if you want to use black. You just have to be careful not to go, so overboard that it looks like, it's like popped off the page and it's got like black edges that are like going into oblivion or something. But with my latest one that I did, the little tiny one, you can see that I really did some serious shadowing with the black down around here on top of all of my colors. And then I came back in with a dark blue and blended it out a little bit. So, and then on the edge around it, on the setting part down here, I also did some black and then brought it up to light at the edge, and I think that brings a little bit more dimension to your stone if you're doing a stone. So that's what I like to do. So we're just doing this. These pencils, by the way, that I'm using are Blick. Their artist brand or whatever, they're an art supply company, and then they have their own brand of pencils. They're oil-based pencils made in the Czech Republic, and from what I've been told, they're quite a bit like Polychromos. They are not at the price point of Polychromos at all, which is kind of awesome for me because I cannot shell out $200 for an entire set of Polychromos, although I'd like to. They only go up to a 72, I think, color set. So this is Blick Studio. This is the red violet. I only have the 36 set right now because I wanted to try them out. I'm very impressed with how they are, in all sense of that. I've been told that, by the way. I do not know. I have not tried out Polychromos. This is just another purple. They're quite a bit harder than Prismacolor, but they go on super, super smooth, as you can see. I'm not blending with a blending pencil or anything like that. And I really, really like these. They sharpen to a fine point. I mean, like, super fine. And they hold their point for, like, tiny details and whatnot, which is awesome because I love to do the tiny, tiny details in my stones that everybody likes so much. Okay, so there we've got kind of our base of our stone, and what I was talking about was using the black and just going down here and really taking it that one step further and just bringing that depth and that darkness to the other side of your stone. And it doesn't take a lot, it just takes a little, but you can see it. You can definitely see it. The change that it brings around to the stone. I don't want to go all the way around with this, but that's just me personally. And then, of course, if you think it's too much, you think it's too dark or whatever, you think it's too black, you can take the purple and go back over it. You could take the red violet and go back over the entire thing if you wanted to. With the sea sediment jasper and all those where I put in lines and do like all kinds of stuff, you kind of have to work it into the gem as you go. But you can also, here, let me show you an example of one of these 5 points. I'll get out my Tagall sharpener. I love these. Okay, see? Really super fine point, and it pretty much holds its point. Like, you don't, I mean, obviously you don't push like super hard on it, but it holds its point like really well. And you can go in, you can do all kinds of cool stuff in your gems, just depending on what you want to do, or your stones, I should say. We're not doing gems, we're doing stones. And you can do this first, you can do this last. It doesn't really matter unless you want like black lines or something. Then I would suggest you do it first. If you want black lines, if you want colored lines, you might want to do it in the middle of your layers and whatnot that you're doing. That way they don't get too blended in as you color and blend your stone. That's really, really random, but that'll work. And then if you want to create a little bit more dimension in your stone, you can go into your little pockets that you did here and make some cool shadowing effects or something. I have no idea what I'm doing at this point, but this is what I do. I mean, I make lines, I color stuff in. There's no super rhyme or reason to it. So here's my cool looking stone thing that I found in the backyard. Who knows? Getting a little bit darker down here, and then I'm going to switch it so that I'm on a different grain of the paper. Just go over it some more so it looks like it's really, really awesome. Yeah, that's odd looking, but you know, whatever. Let's see. You can definitely smooth that out if you want to. Mine looks kind of grainy, I think, on my video there. And then you just put on your highlight. See if I can find one of my jelly rolls. See if my jelly rolls are working today. And then remember that whenever you put on any kind of highlight, you just echo the curve of whatever you're doing. I like jelly rolls when they want to work for me, that's for sure. I have a Uniball Signal pen around here, jelly roll pen around here somewhere. And I like to put these little lathe spots around as well. You've got light coming from everywhere. My hand is not super steady this morning, sorry. But that's how you do it. I want to take this one off because it doesn't follow around the edge right the way I want it to. Alright, just fix that like that. And then you have a little stone. So that's the way you do the stones. So just any shape you have, your highlight is going to be where your lightest part is, and your shadow is going to be opposite that, wherever that is, for any kind of stone. And again, let me show you. You can do all kinds of cool stuff like that, and it makes it more look like this. This one I did my black lines first, and then I just filled in all the little colors that I wanted, making sure there was more yellows and bright greens right here, and then kind of bringing out all the blues and darker colors as we went out. And then I brought in some of the dark blues to do shadows and whatnot on the stone, and then did black all the way around, down around the edge where the setting is. And that's what I mean. Doing this black shadow around these is what I think makes it pop off the paper a little bit more. And so I do that on most of my gems. Not all of them, but definitely most of them. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this, and I want to see all your gemmy creations, whether it's gemstones, or whether it's gems, or whether it's something you made up, because those are always cool too. So let your imagination run away with you, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.